Welcome to Travel in 20, your weekly passport to travelling like a pro. I'm Jacqui Falgate, and each week I'll be joined by travel insiders to uncover their top tips in just 20 minutes. In today's episode, we adventure to Thailand for a showdown between Phuket and Khao Lak. Luxury Escapes Thailand expert Tom McMenemie joins me to crown the winner. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Jacqui. How you doing?
Tom, there is no one that knows more about Thailand than you because you have been there 100 times. What a gig. How did you get it?
Yeah, very fortunate. I remember, I get asked this question a lot. And I remember, rewind 9 years ago, I met one of the owners of Luxury Escapes in Fiji at a conference. I was working for another business at the time. And him and I hit it off straight away. And I remember coming home and saying to my partner at the time, I don't know what will happen here, but something will happen. 3 months later, Adam, the founder and the owner, called me and we had a brief conversation. And he said, look, we've got this job. We'd want you to come into the business and contract Thailand for us. Are you keen? 8 years later, here I am. And over 100 trips to Thailand later.
So, Tom, for those who haven't been, the difference between Phuket and Khao Lak?
Great question. And I get asked this all the time when people say to me, I'm looking at going to Thailand, which one should I choose? So Khao Lak for me is a bit more of that flop and drop experience. So great for families, really important, but also it's great for couples as well. So if you think Khao Lak, it's about 90 minutes north of Phuket Airport, so you will still fly into Phuket.
It's really easy to get to though.
Super easy. And then you'll drive up north to Khao Lak. What does Khao Lak have to offer? So Khao Lak has got these stunning hotels dotted along the coastline, which tend to be quite big hotels. They tend to have lots of restaurants, incredible swimming pools. One of the hotels up there has a swimming pool, which is one of the largest in Southeast Asia. We're
going to talk about that a little bit later, I think. But it's quite beautiful, isn't it, Khao Lak, in terms of the actual environment that these hotels and resorts are situated in?
Some of the trip in the drive up there, you're almost driving through a rainforest to get to where you want, and you can come off the highway to go into your hotel. Go through a stretch of tree line, and then you're met with a beautiful hotel dotted along along the Khao Lak coast. It's stunning.
And it's smaller, isn't it, than Phuket? It's still got that really boutique feel about it.
It's a lot smaller. So when we talk about Khao Lak doesn't have that huge bustling town centre that you would see in a Phuket or a Seminyak or somewhere like that, further afield. It's got a little bit of a village in the middle there with a few shops and restaurants and bars and whatnot. But most of the action tends to be in the hotels with their incredible restaurants and incredible spas and whatnot.
I love the phrase flop and drop holiday. Just get me there immediately. But Phuket, there's so much more to do in Phuket. And I think there's this reputation for Phuket that's perhaps nowadays unfounded. It would have changed a lot from when you started going there to today.
Exponentially. I think I first went to Phuket in 2009, right? And I remember staying at a hotel in Patong, and there's that glitz and glam and the bars and the nightclubs, they're all still there. But I think what Phuket has done a really good job of is they've tidied up a lot of their beaches. They've got an incredible food and beverage scene now there. Some of the restaurants that you'll find in Phuket are as a similar quality to what you'll find here in Melbourne. So you can have these really premium dining experiences as well as that real local back of a tuk-tuk green curry for $10, which is amazing food.
And Khao Lak, Phuket, when we're talking about the cost of living, both are amazing options if you're thinking about a holiday, but you don't want to stretch yourself too far.
Couldn't agree more, Jacqui. Whether your budget is a big thing that's on everyone's minds at the moment, right? And I think some of the packages that we have available for both Khao Lak and Phuket, really, your money really goes to work for you there. And it's not just when you book that holiday, when you're there as well. You can do Phuket and Khao Lak on a bit of a budget. You also got the ability to splurge as well if you want. But two destinations that really make your money work.
Okay, let's take our deep dive into Khao Lak now. And if I haven't been before, if I've got a family or if I'm, say, on a honeymoon, why would I choose Khao Lak?
I think you would choose Khao Lak from a family perspective because of the range of facilities that you've got there. So if you're going and staying at one of our hotels in Khao Lak, you might have multiple swimming pools. A couple of the hotels there have little water parks within the hotel.
Yes.
I think you're wet and wild.
Put the kiddies in there.
Put the kids in there. Mum's off to the spa. Dad, you're on kid duty. But also, I think what's important as well, kids club is a huge factor in there. The hotels have really embraced kids club, and you can put the kids in there, and they can have a great experience. And I think what's cool, we was up there a couple of weeks ago for a conference, and I remember walking past the kids club, and there was a sign there that detailing what the activities was, and it was one of the activities that day was a Thai lesson. So they were teaching the kids little phrases in Thai, which I thought was really cool, versus it's not just the kids playing on iPads or whatnot. They really sort of embrace the kids, and the Thais are amazing with children.
Tell me your favourite hotels there. Is there one that you'd recommend, say, in Khao Lak? I'd love to know your insider tips when I go to choose a hotel in Khao Lak.
Yeah, I mean, I always try not to take favourites, but we were talking just off air. I think I'm looking at taking my family back there in 2024, and we will go to the JW Marriott Khao Lak. If you think of this is our number 2 property in Thailand. In the 10 years that the Luxury Escapes has been sending our members to Thailand, it's got one of the longest swimming pools in Southeast Asia.
Wow,
we're talking.
How big is it?
2.2 kilometers.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah, and the pool snakes around the hotel, right? So in the afternoon, they've got staff in these little boats going around the hotel with coconuts and beers and whatnot. Just a
dream, Tom.
Just a really cool experience. And what I love about JW is it's great for couples, but then also it's great for families as well. They've got like a mini water park within the hotel. So your kids are entertained. There's an amazing kids club. But then the flip side of that is there's an adults only section. So if it's just you and the husband, you can be away from all of that. Whereas if the kids are in tow, they're going to be occupied for days.
And again, great for the budget too. If you've got all those activities that are already happening on site, you don't actually have to, it's stress-free. And I think a lot of parents, when it comes to choosing a holiday, just want a stress-free break.
And that's the thing. I think, to go back to the budget point, when we put these packages together and they've got all these incredible inclusions, often when you get to the hotel, the majority of your meals are included. There's going to be daily cocktails included. Transfers are taken care of. There might be the occasional spa treatment. It's more just a case of, well, do I need more spa treatments? Which the answer is always yes, of course you do.
Always.
So I think that and that's one of the things that my team really focus on is how do we take a lot of that stress and that thinking away to put together this incredible package.
And I think the idea, as you mentioned with Khao Lak as well, is being that little bit smaller than Phuket. That really appeals to me personally, and I think a lot of people too, if you want to feel like you are actually having a, quote, luxury escape.
Yeah, and that ultimate flop and drop that we talk about. Khao Lak is a little bit like what Phuket would have been 30 years ago,
yes.
Right? Beautiful stretch of coastline, incredible 5-star hotels dotted along that beach. It's a beautiful part of the world.
What's the beach like?
The beach in Khao Lak is beautiful. It's a coral beach, so it can be quite rocky. And at certain times of the year, depending on the tide movements, the beach, it's not going to look like the Whitsundays or the Gold Coast, for example. So the beach question for me is always an interesting one. I'm always really honest with people to say the beaches in Thailand are beautiful, but we're also pretty blessed in Australia with some incredible beaches. And I think to that point, one of the things that the hotels do really well is nail the swimming pools. Like we talk about a
2.2 kilometre swimming pool.
Yeah, and that's,
Get me there.
Most of the swimming pools in Khao Lak are awesome. That's not to compensate for the beach. Some people are a beach person versus a pool person. I'm a pool person myself, so I would rather lie by the pool. But then again, I do enjoy a walk along the beach, and that's something I will do when I'm there.
If I go to Khao Lak, what are the top 3 insider things that I must do? What are your secret tips?
My secret tips for Khao Lak, cooking class. So I was there recently. We had a conference and we took 42 of the team to Khao Lak. Yeah.
Like I said, you have the best job.
I have a great job. We did a cooking class there. It was a very intimate. There was only 12 of us that did the cooking class, and we got to make I think 15 different Thai dishes, which was incredible. Number 2, there's some incredible spas in Khao Lak, not just in the hotels, but some wellness centers as well that sit outside. So whether you're wanting to do yoga and meditation and these, things that we might take for granted our day-to-day's life, when you're on holiday, take advantage. Your days are quite free.
Treat yourself,
absolutely. And number 3 would be F&B. Some of the restaurants in Khao Lak are phenomenal. One thing I always like to do, jump on TripAdvisor. What is everyone eating when they go to Khao Lak?
That's a really good tip.
Yeah, and particularly in Khao Lak, most of those restaurants will be in hotels, but then there's also those hidden gems that might be a couple whose family has lived in Khao Lak for hundreds of years, and the family restaurant just keeps on continuing, and you'll pay, you know, a couple of dollars for the most incredible Thai green curry or some beautiful satay or whatever it may be.
Yum. And it's so easy to get to too, isn't it? I think that's another thing when we've got the kids in tow, we've got all their luggage and we're tired, we want our holiday, an easy flight and an easy drive.
Totally. So you come out of the airport and it's, you know, it's no longer than an hour and a half to the top of Khao Lak.
Yep.
If you're staying at the JW, for example, that would only be 70 minutes from the airport.
Oh, perfect. That's
Beautiful
what I need.
air-conditioned transfer, Wi-Fi, cold towel, bowls of water, off you go.
All right, let's deep dive into Phuket then as well. I want to know where you're going to stay. I want you to give me two options. One, if you've got a family, and two, if, say, you want a bit of more of a party vibe or you're a younger person that wants to have a good time.
Yeah, great question. So if it was just me and my partner, Christy, going to Phuket and we were without Archie, we would go and stay at the Shore by Katathani. So south of the airport, quite south of Phuket. So you're talking, again, from the airport, this would be over an hour's drive.
Yep.
So it's not real too different to going to Khao Lak. And this is beautiful cliffside pool villas looking out over the ocean. So ultimate relaxation, lock yourselves away, amazing food, a great little private beach, and just stunning views out of your room.
Oh, gorgeous. And then what if I do have the kids in tow?
If you did have the kids in tow, right next door to the Shore is their sister property, which is called Katathani. That's Luxury Escapes' #1 property in Thailand. We've sent more people to this hotel than any other hotel in Thailand.
Really?
Yeah.
How many people, do you know?
We would be talking probably about 80,000 people over the years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of people we've sent there.
Do you know what? I think that's really interesting because you know then that the feedback from 80,000 people is going to be, you're going to know exactly how good it is with that kind of number. That is a huge number.
Year in, year out, whenever we launch the campaign, it always sells incredibly well. Why? Like, this isn't a branded hotel. It's not a Marriott or a Sofitel. It's just a local family-owned group of hotels. And what they do really well, they nail every single aspect. So they've got incredible restaurants. They're right on the beach. They've got pool access rooms. They've got suites. They've got rooms that take 2 adults and 3 children. So they're ticking.
Which is so hard to find, especially in a big resort as well, correct?
Correct. And this hotel has 600 rooms. This is a big hotel, right? It's got its own little private sort of stretch of beach there, which is great. And then again, incredible swimming pools, and it's in Kata Beach. So I think often when people think of Phuket, people think Patong, right? And we were talking before about the history around Phuket and where do people go to. Phuket is so much more than Patong. And again, when we talk about, when someone says to me, why should I go to Phuket? For me, it's like, once I've understand what they're looking for, it's then about picking a beach, and whether it's a beach at the top of the island, say a Nayang beach, or further down south, a Kata or a Karon beach, which many people are familiar with. All of these little pockets within Phuket have amazing experiences, but they're also very accessible if you want to get out to the islands. Great for shopping. You know, Patong has got their big shopping mall there, Jung Salon, hugely popular. And I think for me, when you go to Phuket, it's about, you pick your location where you're going to base yourselves, but then that's going to be where you're using to go out and do different things.
And what about if I do want to save money as well? It's a really good destination, isn't it? Because you can do it so cheaply, particularly in Phuket.
You know, one of the things I love about Luxury Escapes is whenever you go on the website, there'll be, whatever your budget is, there's something that's going to be able to cater for that. So whether you're wanting to, spend $1,000 and be there for 7 nights and not necessarily have as many inclusions, but because you're staying in the middle of Patong, where there's great little restaurants where you can eat for literally $10, we'll get you a green curry and a beer.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's stunning, yeah.
It is. And for me, when I go there, what are the top 3 things in Phuket that I should do? Top
3 things in Phuket: get out and explore. So whether it's exploring these different beaches or getting out to the islands as well. The PP Island day trip is one of the most popular things that I can recommend people to do. And there's different versions. You can do a private PP tour if you want, or you can join a group. The last time I did it was a group of friends. I think there was 12 of us, and effectively the boat was ours, and we went out to PP for the day. You're pulling up to these little islands, and we were talking about Lake Como before, where if you're hiring a little boat and you choose your own journey for the day, you've got the ability to do that in PP. The backdrops are incredible, and you'll get some amazing content.
Oh, fabulous. And what about the weather?
Weather can be tricky, right? I mean, it's a tropical climate. So if you're traveling to Phuket April to October, I'd expect it to rain at some point.
That's what the shopping's for.
That's what the shopping's for. But in a similar vein, I was in Phuket 2 weeks ago. It didn't rain once whilst I was in Phuket. I could go in February, which is apparently, that's the best time of year from a weather perspective. It could rain every day. I think when it is raining, people will say to me, "Oh, what am I going to do if it rains?" It's like, well, go to the spa, go shopping.
Check in. Go to the spa.
Yeah, you'll work it out, right?
Exactly. And you've got a little tidbit, you've got a little secret to share with me that's coming along for Luxury Escapes.
Yeah, so hot off the press, we're about to venture into the the homes and the residences space. So think of those multi-million-dollar mansions for one.
The dream.
The dream. And we're thinking along the lines of 5, 6, 7, 8 bedroom homes at the top of a cliff in Phuket looking out over the ocean. And we're going to put these packages together, which makes it more affordable for you.
And I think what's really lovely about that is, say you want to have a crazy weekend away with your mates, you could do that, but you could also get a couple of families together with the kids and experience that too. Absolutely.
And I think what's great about this type of opportunity is you'll then have the ability to arrange a private chef, right? Who can come in and cook for the family. We can arrange for a spa team or masseuses to come to the villa, and you'll set up one of the rooms, and all the girls can have their massages and the guys as well if they want them. So this is going to be a really different style of holiday, but you're going to be able to cater to a much larger group and in these stunning multi-million-dollar homes.
And can you sum up why I would choose Thailand above anywhere else?
It's a really hard question. I think for me, people often say Thailand or Bali. And I travel to Bali a lot for work as well. Thailand, for me, has a wider array of experiences from the city into, with Bangkok, but even also going sort of further north into Chiang Mai, where you've got a real cultural and, that type of experience, to then some stunning beaches. Bali's great. Aussies love Bali. Our members love Bali. It's a really difficult one to say. But for me, I think there's a wider range of experience on offer in Thailand.
Now, you're the expert. What is the number one thing that you've done in Thailand, Tom?
The number one thing I've done in Thailand, it was about 6 years ago, and I'd gone to Krabi to assess a hotel there called the Ritz-Carlton Reserve, and it's the best hotel I've ever stayed in Thailand.
So what a job, assessing hotels.
Yeah, very fortunate. So I was there for the weekend. Now, this is the same hotel where a number of films have been filmed over the year, right? So it's a great hotel, and I went there and I stayed for the weekend. Now, I'm severely allergic to peanuts. Now, traveling to Asia a lot for work,
occupational hazard,
is very much an occupational hazard. So I was at this hotel by myself, and the chef there was an Aussie guy, and he came out and he was sort of taking me on the journey of his restaurant and the concept behind his food, and he said, "What do you want? I'll cook you anything." I said, "Oh, chef, I'm really allergic to peanuts." He's like, "I'm going to make you the best massaman curry you've ever had." I'd never had massaman curry, so it was always going to be the best. And he took me on the journey with him in the kitchen as to how he was making it and what he was going to replace the peanut taste with in the massaman curry. And then we served it, and it was incredible. It was a very intimate experience with the chef. Phenomenal.
What a beautiful story. And you know what else I think that highlights? Just the food scene in Thailand, and also the level that many of these resorts actually go to bring that to you.
Yeah, I mean, a dining experience like that, like, it was so immersive. Like, I was so bought into what he was doing. And for someone who does have an allergy, and there's plenty of people out there with allergies, Thailand is very safe for that, as long as the teams at the hotel are very accommodating. But yeah, was very fortunate to have that experience with the chef there in Krabi.
What a beautiful way to wrap up. Put it on the list. Tom, thank you.
Thanks, Jacqui.
Thanks for listening. Experience more of the world's best holiday destinations with Luxury Escapes, with more inclusions, more value, and more expertise. Find and book everything you need, from hotels and resorts to flights, tours, cruises, and experiences. Stay up to date with other episodes of Travel in 20 on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And visit luxuryescapes.com to get more from your next holiday.